Lettuce is undoubtedly the queen of the garden, as it can be found in almost every home garden. Its popularity is supported by as many as 21 official indigenous varieties in Slovenia alone in year 2022. Spring is the most favorable season for lettuce, as it produces the highest quality leaves during this time. It grows in all seasons, and by selecting the appropriate winter varieties, it can be kept in the garden all year round. Lettuce also thrives in shaded areas, including on balconies in containers. There are two main types of lettuces: head lettuce, which encompass various varieties that form heads, including soft leaf and crisp head lettuces. These varieties are particularly appreciated for their flavor, especially the tender leaves found within the heart of the head. Romaine lettuces are also included in this group due to their method of harvesting. For our first sowing, we will sow a variety called Majska kraljica or Queen of May. The other type are rosette lettuces, which grow in a rosette pattern and do not form heads. Rosette lettuces have in common the fact that the main crop we collect leaves, not heads. The crop is harvested earlier than the head lettuces, providing a consistent yield over an extended period of time. My favorite varieties are Lolo Bionda and Lolo Rosa. Both together make a delightful mix on a garden bed and in a salad bowl. I encourage you to try to grow your own lettuce seedlings, which is the only way we grow lettuce at Becoming Gardener. If we grow other seedlings regularly, we can also grow lettuce seedlings at the same time, resulting in an earlier harvest of spring lettuce. By a few weeks, instead of waiting until the end of March to start sowing outdoors, we can begin growing lettuce seedlings indoors in February. So by early April, we already have our first crop of rosette lettuce. To grow lettuce seedlings, it's recommended to sow at least 2 varieties of rosette lettuce and 1 head lettuce variety. Rosette varieties provide a smaller crop already in the start of April, and this increases every week until reaching its peak in early June. The head lettuce varieties, including soft leaf and crisp head lettuces, are typically ready for harvest at the end of May, beginning of June. So with a single batch of seedlings, we can have lettuce available for 3 months straight from April, May and June. So to grow lettuce, start sowing seeds in mid-February. Begin by sowing several seeds in a large container filled with moist substrate, covering them with 0.5 centimeters of dry substrate. Germinate at a temperature between 18 to 22 degrees Celsius, which is also suitable for other plants that we are germinating at the same time. Since they germinate well in the dark, cover the seed tray to maintain uniform humidity, and as soon as we notice first sprout, which can happen as little as in 2 days, uncover the container and move it to a brighter location with sufficient lighting. When the first leaves are nicely developed within 8 to 10 days of sowing, prick out the plants individually into medium-sized planting units with a quality substrate mixture. It has been 5 days since we sowed the lettuce, and some seeds have already germinated after 2 days and have developed their first 2 leaves under the light. At this stage, it's time to start to pricking the lettuce. If our plants have grown too tall, we can plant them deeper, all the way down to the first leaves. Use a wooden or a plastic stick to help to move the plants, being careful not to damage the roots. After pricking out, place the lettuce seedlings in a well-lighted place. Night temperatures can be as low as 0 degrees Celsius. If we have leftover plants after pricking out, we can Eat them as microgreens, since lettuce is already edible at this growing stage. Water the seedlings regularly every other day, like all other plants that are grown at the same time. Before transplanting them to an outdoor bed, in the second half of March, harden them off by placing them along a south-facing wall or a greenhouse for at least 4 days in order of them to adjust to outdoor temperatures, especially to night temperatures fluctuations. For later sowings, which are done at intervals, densely sow the seeds in a large container and later prick them out. Taking care of these seedlings is easier because they grow outside near a garden shed or in a greenhouse, which eliminates the need to harden them off, as it would be necessary for other early seedlings. However, we need to be more cautious with watering, as the sun can quickly dry out the substrate. Transplanting seedlings outdoors takes place from mid-March to mid-September. When seedlings have formed at least 4 to 6 leaves, they are big enough to be transplanted, and the first sowing takes 40 days for seedlings growth, while in the summer it takes only about 25 days. Seedlings should be planted 20 centimeters apart in a zigzag pattern. This dense planting distance is suitable for rosette varieties, while head varieties also succeed at this distance if some heads are harvested before they reach their final size to give the remaining ones enough space. Keep in mind that we gardeners always harvest the crop little by little, while growers raise head lettuces for full technical maturity and harvest the crop all at once. In this case, they should be given more space, transplanting them every 30 centimeters in a zigzag pattern, like with radicchio or endive. Prepare planting holes and water them, or give the entire bed a throughout watering in dry weather. Early transplanted lettuce should always be covered directly over the plants with the fleece, which is used until the end of April or at the latest until the mid-May. When transplanting seedlings in the summer months, we also consider the weather and transplant before or immediately after the rain. We use a technique that reduces the shock of transplanting in hot weather. We can remove the outer larger leaves and leave only the 2 younger leaves from which the plant will grow. The root system will more easily provide water to a smaller number of leaves before the seedlings is fully established in the ground. The removed leaves can be used in a salad preparation. At Becoming Gardener, we prefer using legumes, tomatoes, peppers and cucumbers in our summer salad instead of lettuce. However, this is just our personal preference and does not mean that growing lettuce in the summer is not possible. So our second ideal period for growing lettuce seedlings coincides with the first sowing of radicchio and endive in mid-June, giving us a summer harvest of lettuce. For this sowing, we use Ledinka or iceberg variety. We also grow from seedlings and we can nurture them outdoors. We grow seedlings at the same procedure as indoors in February, but this time we can sow and grow them outdoors or in a greenhouse. The last outdoor sowing for growing lettuce is done in mid-August, when we sow lamb lettuce, spinach and garden rocket. It's best to choose varieties that can survive the winter, ensuring that we have fresh lettuce available throughout the winter months. If you have a greenhouse, you can transplant the same seedlings into it, which guarantees a harvest in winter, even when there is snow on the ground, all the way until April. Directly sowing lettuce out in a garden bed is still a fairly popular and widespread method, which is followed by harvesting of young leaves, thinning out the plants or transplanting them as plucked seedlings. This approach is simple and useful when lettuce seeds are plentiful. To improve this method, it's best to sow in rows or in prepared drills. Lettuce can be sowed directly on a garden bed from late March to late August, following the same procedure as for spinach. Early lettuce serves as a pre-crop, allowing for the planting of distinctly summer fruiting vegetables in May, or in our case, we already interplanted celery and celeriac. Later on in the season, when transplanting lettuce seedlings, you can be creative and include them in the same bed with other smaller plants. This is particularly useful during summer when consumption is typically lower and, as a rule, fewer plants are grown. Simply just transplant them into any available empty space. When harvesting fresh lettuce leaves, it's important to avoid mulching the bed with unprocessed materials such as straw, grass clippings, leaves, or any other unprocessed mulch. This can cause the lettuce leaves to become dirty and potentially contaminate head varieties with inedible foreign matter. Instead, transplant lettuce seedlings into a compost mulch, which also protects the soil. Maintain the planting distance for transplanting so that the plant's leaves shade the soil, reducing the need for watering and suppressing weed growth. Water the transplanted seedlings daily for the first week, particularly in summer during dry and sunny weather. Since lettuce leaves are 95% water, they need ample hydration to thrive. The more you water, the faster the growth and the greater the yield. While daily watering is ideal, watering generously once a week, especially in the absence of rain, is sufficient. Lettuce grows best after a few days of rain, when the soil is throughoutly moist and the air temperature is lower, further promoting its growth. Weeds growing between plants can be removed using garden tools, while individual weeds near the plants can be plucked out by hand. One advantage of growing seedlings is that the empty garden bed can be quickly and throughoutly weeded and hoed before transplanting. Growing lettuce is generally not difficult, and major problems are uncommon, particularly regarding diseases. However, fresh lettuce leaves are very attractive to slugs. To deter them, remove dead leaves and ensure there is no unprocessed organic material in the garden bed, as this can further attract slugs. Fungal infections such as gray mold, white lettuce rot and black lettuce rot can be problematic, especially during autumn or when growing lettuce in a greenhouse, as it can be challenging to ensure adequate ventilation during autumn and winter. It is crucial to harvest rosette lettuce regularly and consistently. For head varieties, it's important to remove older outer leaves to minimize the risk of fungal infections. With careful planning and multiple sowings, lettuce can be grown in the garden most of the year, but the first spring lettuce can be harvested from mid-April until the start of June. In general, when we sow in intervals, lettuce can be harvested from mid-April to the end of November or even later. Winter varieties or greenhouse-grown lettuce can fill the gaps also during winter time. Rosette varieties should be harvested gradually. The best technique is to manually collect the oldest lower leaves every day. This process also helps clean the stem of the lettuce, preventing leaves from remaining on the ground and deteriorating. By keeping the plant's root system intact, the leaves can continue to grow undisturbed. This harvesting method also extends the period of lettuce harvest, allowing for multiple harvests from a small number of plants. For head varieties, it's necessary to wait for the head to form, which is then cut off with a knife, yielding a single harvest. If you remove a leaf during growth, it won't cause any harm. However, with head varieties, it's common to have an entire garden bed of ripe lettuces all at once, which may not be consumed in time before they start bolting. Lettuce is best enjoyed fresh, as this is the only way to truly appreciate its taste and freshness. The primary purpose of homegrown lettuce is not to be stored in the refrigerator, but to be harvested and consumed right away. If you need to store harvested leaves for a day or two, keep them in the refrigerator. Head varieties can be stored slightly longer. World of lettuce is truly wide and beautiful. We need to tailor the varieties and sowing dates to our need, and I hope you liked our style of growing lettuces. As we conclude our course, I hope you now feel equipped to grow lush, vibrant lettuce in your own garden. I hope you liked our style of growing lettuces. Your gardening journey continues with our other courses, each unveiling the secrets of another beautiful vegetable. Thank you for being a part of this experience. Let's meet again in the next course, and together, let's keep becoming gardeners.